James, really good session today. Hope you found it helpful. Just going to run through a couple of points now we discussed in the session so you can things to work on now going forward in your practice. If we look at the takeaway now, the main issue we had with the takeaway, you can see the club now whipping way inside, getting a long way behind your hands, behind your body there, causing that club now to go on a path very much from in to out. Now, two things happen, or one of two things will happen from there. One, you'll come back down the same path, causing that club to come into the golf ball now and create a big hook, or maybe a straight block out to the left there. Or you'll be forced to come back over the top to reroute the golf club back on a better line. Obviously, if you do that too much, you could come across the ball. Not enough, too far on the inside. You get it right, you'll be down the middle. And what we did see, obviously, in the practice there, that's the first few shots you're doing when you're warming up. After about 6, 7 or 8 shots, you kind of figured out the feeling of what you needed, and therefore you hit the golf ball really well and really straight. But from a consistency standpoint, it took you, as you say, 6, 8 shots to find that feeling. On a golf course, we haven't got that luxury of hitting so many shots. So the feeling I want to try and get you to do on the way back is that the club head is staying, we call, outside the hand. So if you look at this movement now as you go back, as the club goes back there, brilliant. I mean, in terms of the checkpoints there, that club now is basically across your toe line. Your right arm now is staying into your chest. One thing we don't want to do is to stop the club going too far behind by moving your hands over here and getting your right arm away from the body, because eventually then you'll still be forced to rotate or roll your arms in which case you're not curing the fault, you're just delaying when the fault's going to happen in the backswing. So keeping that club in front of you there as you go back. And what I think is a suggestion, we said, for some practice shots and some drills, I wouldn't recommend you play this way, although you hit the ball really well when you did it, but it looks a bit strange and a bit conscious of what you're going to do probably. Hit some shots there now where the club actually goes to this position as you go back. So you swing the golf club to this point, first make the movement, looking at the ball, then look at the club, check it's okay, then look back at the golf ball, and from there, just make your swing normally all the way back and through. Okay, so it's kind of a 1 or 2 piece movements there in the swing. As I said, it's purely a practice movement, a practice drill, just for you to get the feeling of what it feels like when the golf club is here in this position, okay? Now, obviously, when the club does go back to top, we can see a very good position here now. There's still going to be a little over-the-top movement there, which is to be expected slightly. But what we'll see now, because the club head comes down now slightly further outside your hands, and therefore slightly across, because the golf club's gone back in a square or straighter position, if your path now is this way, what you will generally see now is a slight pull, fade back to target. What you saw when the club whipped so far inside here, because the way the club has gone back by your forearms rotating, your face was opening, you were then forced to try and square the club face with a lot of flicking with the forearm. So your club face could point here, could point over there. And again, therein lies some inconsistencies, as we said. So at least if we can get the club face square and maintain a more square position throughout the swing, if the path does get a little bit awry just because of sort of human error, I suppose, at least the shot's going to end up somewhere in kind of this area rather than before we saw some shots working way to the right there, and obviously the compensation then way to the left. So we can work on that practice drill, get that club into this position. Like I say, do this first move now where the club is here through feel. Try to avoid looking with your eyes and trying to get that sort of tilted with the head. Then check it to see where you're at. Once you're happy and it's in a good position, and now you can see what a good position looks like, go over the toe line, look back at the golf ball, and then make your swing from that position back and right the way through. So again, a very good sort of classic position there up on your right side. So hope that all makes sense. Any questions, obviously feel free to give me a shout. If you're down the driving range doing some practice, please feel free to send some videos and some pictures through, just so we can make sure you're doing it correctly, you're not falling into any old habits or creating new ones as a result of trying these practice drills. So get some practice in, and I'll catch up with you soon. All right, cheers, James.